Kavan, welcome brave souls. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. We are back tonight with Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. For those of you joining us in the archive, we hope that you enjoy the game to come, and if you ever want to join these live, we run these games live on Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. On Tuesdays, that is. And we are going to start up tonight with our episode tlha'wI, tlha'lu'ghach. This will be part 2 of our episode, and we'll be picking up right where we left off as the Jan, the Raptor class vessel, the Raptor class vessel, has arrived from a mission on a distant world and is approaching Mastacal, one of the great colony ports of one of the largest free ports in the Empire, proximate to the Federation, the Romulan empires, although scarcely any contact is had with the latter. But suffice to say, it is full of all manner of eclectic characters and a fair bit of Klingon traffic. You yourselves are settling in to deliver your passenger from the last mission, and you are about to arrive at the port. However, there's been one issue troubling you, very particularly troubling the Doctor, as during that last mission, under extremely strange circumstances, he believes he may have had a telepathic encounter or have shared in something that would have given him some sort of ability to perceive a telepathic encounter. And that led him to, he thinks, hear from a long missing crew member. When Kresik went over this, he convinced Tabak that this person couldn't possibly be far away, and upon asking Vopri to run a sensor scan, has heard that there is actually a ship closing in on the Yan as we speak. So, let us pull into the bridge right now, where Tabak, we definitely have, you made the 30-meter or so sprint to get to the bridge once you heard that something was coming. Azik's there. I have other tokens on the bridge. Nagri, Traven, Vopri, Tabak's daughter, tlha'wI. Azik, of course, you are in command at the moment. Would anybody else like to be on the bridge right now?
Zionel's on the bridge, but he's always just somewhere on the bridge in the shadows.
Yes.
Betty is also on the bridge. She just can't see her.
Yes, Betty is operational and is thus able to monitor a great many of the rooms, though some more attention gets paid. I'm just putting Zionel in the GM layer so that he is there, but he is invisible. So let's see here. Tabak, the door's open. You step onto the bridge. As you do, Vopri calls out at once. Vessel closing. I was having difficulty getting positive identification, but I can confirm now, Captain. He says, looking over to Azik. Vessel appears to be Creel.
Put us on status alert, Klingon equivalent of yellow alert. I guess Klingons probably don't have a yellow alert, do they?
No. It's boredom to violence with Klingons, I think.
Okay. Red alert. Target the ship. Scanners at full. Can we tell who's on board?
Yellow alert
what?
is just locking weapons without firing.
Running sensor scan now. Yeah, so as tasks begin, first off, the alert klaxon sounds throughout the ship. Everyone is now aware that somebody on the bridge is declaring a possible combat situation, which is unfortunate given how close you are to Mastical, or it was hoped maybe, just maybe, that, well, I'm sure the Klingons are plenty inclined towards battle. But yes,
Is there any way to go to red alert without other forces seeing it?
I mean, you charge weapons and raise shields, anybody that's looking is going to be paying attention to you.
But what if we do it casually? You could take a point of threat for that one.
Thank you. There's not a talent in the book that justifies that.
Not yet.
That's in
Somebody.
second edition.
Tabak asks from the back of the bridge, do we have any stacks of plasma grenades?
Might be some in the locker down the hall.
Only thermite grenades, I'm afraid.
Alright, start putting them on the transporter pad.
Let's see. Vopri, you asked him to run a sensor scan in order to detect the in order to get a sense of the crew complement and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to say for this roll, the maximum difficulty on this is going to be 2. That will max out any information that you need. Vopri is going to run a reason plus science check, or alternatively, Traven, if you actually want to lead on that, then you could do that.
I'll let Vopri lead on this one, and then I'll just assist him, so that way we both take charge.
Okay, yep. Borrowing from how second edition works, I will have it to where there is a primary role, or there's a lead roller, there's a player character that can assist, and the ship can also assist when it comes to ship-based tasks. So, Vopri has already scored 3 successes. Traven, with an assist, rolls an additional 2 successes. So you have already beat the difficulty, and you have at least 3 points of momentum incoming. Would anyone like to try and roll for the ship?
Trying to find it.
Yeah, it's just like we gotta look. Okay, that it. I found it. What do you need me to roll?
So for the Yan, I need you to roll. That would be reason plus, or rather, sensors plus science.
So science. All right. Hey.
And that is another 2 successes. The Yan is putting in some work today.
Before we resolve this, can I spend 2 of those that are floating? Because if my math is right, we've got a max of 5, right?
You have 5 points of momentum that are incoming. Only 4 of those can go into a pool right now, so one of them would be stuck floating anyway. So you've definitely got the points to spend on them.
Can we use 2 momentum to make some kind of a distraction to the rest of the fleet, so they're not... basically, I want to fly casual, so they don't necessarily see us over here doing the shields up, red alert thing.
Well, I'd be willing to say that maybe I can have something else interesting be going on in system right now, so as to take the attention for just a moment. Yes, Vopri reports vessel confirmed Creel. Vessel has I believe it to be some sort of perhaps asteroid salvager or equivalent of a rough cutter, close in scale to us, and large parts of empty volume. This is relatively stripped down. Crew complement, however, is about 45 on board. Vessel appears to have energy shielding, lasers, disruptor pulse emitters, and there is some object on dorsal section I cannot quite get read on. This vessel appears to be somewhat stripped down. I'd say optimized for, well, more it seems for engine operation, perhaps. It is technically capable. I would put it at a. It appears to also be at a scale level 2.
Can we put that object on the main view screen to see if we see what it is?
So that would actually be. That would be this vessel here.
Okay.
That has come into your path. Captain and Lord Tabak, since he says, gesturing to you since we're here, they have opened a hailing frequency with us. They have also charged weapons and raised shields.
What is the reason for your approach?
Let's see.
Creel ship.
So, let me shift us back to the bridge here. And alright, we got that all working here. So on the screen before you appears a man of, or a Creel man of, I'd say a very, like, rough and rowdy kind of complexion. His face deeply weathered, and an eye patch covering covering his left side. His hair messy and unkempt, leaning forward in such a way that his shoulders and arms, and chest are like puffed out, but like also his head slightly hunched forward, almost in a sort of lazy fashion, completely consuming to the extent that Creel have necks, pretty much completely consuming it. He gives you immediate answer. Name's Captain Tribran. As I understand it, this vessel, I've got good intel saying that this vessel was present at a Creel base over on the Talonor system some months back.
Out of character, was this this Tabak, or was it or not Tabak, this Azek, or was it the other one?
This was with the previous Azek. This was, for everyone's perspective here, this is the dilithium mining operation that would have, that featured a very, it was Dar's really fun day out.
What was that, our first major war crime?
Yes. So, yeah, this Azek has no idea what he's talking about.
I'm gonna look over at Tabak, and of course, if Tabak's in the room, then I'm standing, noticeably. But I'm gonna look over at Tabak and friends of yours.
Our captain may still be getting dinner.
Can Nogri interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. If I remember correctly, they are friends of your lizard engineer friend. More specifically, the bigger one. But they don't know difference. All lizards look the same. But they are here for that. There is a bounty.
Tree Brand. I am Captain Azek Korg of the Yan of the House of Cord, and approaching the ship in such a way is a very dangerous game for you to play, Captain. What is your intent with us? I repeat, I'm openly repeating what I asked him before, kind of ignoring his uh, like reference to the past mission.
My intent is to have a look over your ship, find out if you happen to have someone responsible for the murder of dozens of my people, and take them to the nearest Creole community where they can face some justice. You got a problem with that, then we can enjoy all sorts of dangerous games. I think they'd all end with you going to that place you guys really like. What was it? Stovacor?
Stovacor, Ruta de Pente, we don't really care. It's just a place that you're probably not going to go because dishonor seems to be radiating off of you. First, you approach our ship and want. You don't even ask nicely. I mean, come on.
You get the feeling this man almost likes the cut of your jib, Asik. But the look on this guy's face is also quite deathly serious. Honor's a pretty rich concept for a bunch of people that murdered unarmed miners. Or is that the next great Klingon victory in whatever record of battles, all the songs you sing?
Can I? Does my captain's chair have text communication on it?
I'm sure it does. Better yet, Betty is also around.
I'm gonna type into it a message to kind of with my hand to Vopri, or no, who's target? Who's in tactical?
That'd be me here. Kebok chimes in.
I'm gonna actually I'll do that. Better yet, I'll do this.
Yeah.
I'll signal to
alter-
cut off communication.
Vopri will do that, and I'll say, incidentally, if anyone wants to take over for Hamok, then they are welcome to it.
Hammock target their casually target their sensors. Vopri strengthen our shield so they can't get a sensor reading on anybody that's here. I have a feeling there's only one way through this. Do we know if there's a warrant out for this guy's arrest at all? Or a bounty?
I don't think that there is anything of the sort right now that you would know of.
What would Vopri might know this, or Tavok would know, but I'm gonna ask who or what's the standard procedure for Klingon conflict in this particular sector, because we've got the station nearby, we've got a fleet nearby.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now the station commander, by the advantage you have purchased, is presently distracted with something else, so I think that the first round of combat is going to go off pretty much without. The first round of combat is probably going to go off without anyone else's intervention for the time being. So it's it's you're basically in a situation where you are momentarily on your own.
Okay. I kind of want to get Tavok's input before we go head first into this. So, do you have another scene in mind between now and then that we could go to, or do we want to keep going?
Let's see. We can. Well, I'll tell you what. Whilst we wait on the captain, if anyone wants to share at least above board knowledge, then that's always an option. We can always say that this is where this would be where the dramatic cutaway is, and the opening credits and theme music and all that were to come in if we had any of those. Which is not to say that we don't. Well, not to say that I haven't had thoughts, but more just means. It's a thing. But yes.
Captain, we need to talk about the consequences of your actions.
Well, if only. Let's see. While we're waiting on this, for those, man, it occurs to me I have something in mind, but it is a very dumb thing that doesn't relate to this whatsoever.
The captain is back.
Hey, the captain is back. So I don't know if you've had your headset.
So sorry.
Quite all right. I don't know if you've had your headset on and listening to what's been going on, but it seems that the Creel are here. Our Creel ship is here. They're pointing guns at them. Or rather, as it called, battle stations. They're at battle stations. Everybody's pointing weapons at each other, and the Creel captain by the name of Tribran, he's interested in, he is pretty sure that you've got somebody responsible for for the murder of some miners on that planet, or rather on that one planetoid. You know, the one where you set loose Dar to commit those murders. And
yeah, our war crimes. Yeah.
Yes. He's basically he wants you to drop shields. He wants to take the Gorn to the nearest Creel community so that they can quote unquote face justice, and then if you don't oblige, then he's happy to give you battle. And because of Azek's advantage, everybody else is looking the other way right now. Also, this Azek, up until Nagri said something, didn't actually know about what was going on because, Darkest Nebula and all that.
What? Wait, what? At what advantage was?
The station commander is busy, and thus none of the other ships or the station is paying you any mind right now.
Most of the ships here are Klingon, though, right?
A number of them are, yes, and they are a bit deeper in system. Some of them are docked with the station, others are close by, but they've got other concerns.
Our next action I feel, may affect House Cord. And while I myself would go straight head first into battle, I want to make sure that I respect your house and you being here. So your call on what our next move is.
Voprai, any of the Klingon ships near us, are they warships, or are they all like us, sort of just cargo ships?
There are other birds of prey, cruisers, and other such vessels. The station itself is also Klingon and is a Mortash-class station. Should have disruptor banks and torpedoes.
Are we in weapons range of the station?
We are presently at long range. Torpedoes may be fired at optimal range. Disruptors would be at slight disadvantage. Relative to target, we are currently at close range, so disruptor cannons are at prime firing range. I don't have the chems to that specifically.
Not needed, Mr. GM. I got you.
That is how Star Trek Adventures handles distance.
Yes. So, Mr. GM, I have a question for you. If I were to say, hey, all the Klingon ships, there's some Creel getting all sort of uppity over here. Anybody want to kill them? Would there be a show of hands, as it were?
I think that you'd be caught between Klingons that would be looking at the prospect of battle with the idea of fighting Creel, and that anyone calls for help on that matter would earn you derision. Others,
okay.
Yeah, Creel.
I have a question, if it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. By all means, Cheesy.
So through the conversation, that captain did insult the Klingons. Could I cut that? Like, basically cut out that part of the feed and send that out? None of the before, none of the after, just him insulting Klingons, and could we send that out to the other Klingon ships?
You want to try to put him on blast for I think the one insulting thing that I might have said was that he didn't think much of their idea of honor, which, granted, taken out of context, could be a thing. That might be a way to gain some attention. I think Traven might be at a station best suited to that, since it's kind of secondary sensors or tied in with communications.
Okay, what's the size and firepower comparison between us and the Creel ship?
They are technically a larger vessel than you, but they are also by virtue of the fact they've got a lot of empty mass and personnel size, they are actually equivalent scale to you.
Okay. Vopri? Okay, wait. Azek, do you mind? Captain?
Go ahead. I had Discord issues, so I missed everything from when you first talked to Vokrai. So go right ahead with what your plan was.
Vopri, scan that ship. Finally, any weak spots in the shields. Who's running targeting? Is that Hamak?
Yeah, that's me.
I want you to target command and control structures on that ship. I want to core out their bridge.
Okay. Let's see. So, I think in this case, let's see. If I'm going by NPC rules, this is still basically a targeting subsystem element, such that it links to anything. It'd be structure, but I'm just going to say I think to do that you will need to you're going to need to drop things. You're going to need to inflict the equivalent of 2 breaches to effectively disable them here. So.
Oh, I don't necessarily want to disable them. I want to open their bridge to space.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. It'd take the equivalent of basically 2 breaches to get them shut out here. So Vopri will conduct the scan for weakness task, which...
Does the ship help?
The ship does help, so the way that this works, it would be a control plus science task with a difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's sensors plus security roll.
And all of the stats on the ship were updated for the refit, right?
They were indeed.
Okay. Well,
So,
here goes the ship.
yep. And this is
Worked. Oh my.
well. So good news is that Vopri and between Vopri's 2 successes and the ship's 1 success, you have scored another 5 successes. So your first task of what has come out to be a round of combat is now to take a look at their is to scan for weaknesses, and really it's more discerning an optimal pattern to fire disruptors so that you can try to weaken their shield emitters and thus score a good direct hit on the bridge. This will give your next attack the piercing 2 quality, in addition to the vicious effect that your disruptor cannons usually have, or, well, whichever weapons you use.
Nice. And it's going to be weapons and security for the ship to help?
Well, when the ship makes its attack, it would be weapons and security.
Yep, that's what I was just asking.
And how much momentum do we have right now?
You have, well...
Because we were up to 5.
Yes.
Well, that was 5 successes.
Yes.
Well, no, we were up to 5 in a previous roll when you stepped out for dinner.
Okay.
Yes.
We're up to 5 total, right?
After the 5 successes there, you have 4 points of momentum incoming, so that is enough to bring you back up to 6. And you have 4 floating at the moment.
Oh, what the? I can't have that many.
Just drop a couple there and
Yep.
delete them all at your leisure. Yeah, I suppose at this point
How do I...
Oh, you should just be able to select them and get rid of them here.
There we go. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That was easy enough. Never mind, you got it.
Suggestion, since we have 4 floating, I say we spend 2 to create an advantage. For sure. I'm thinking some variation of either the Creel, and it comes out to the same. Either they overestimate themselves or they underestimate us, so that they're not thinking that we have quite as much punch, considering the last time they had detailed scans of our ship, we were much weaker at the time.
I like that. That gives us 2 more. Do you want to throw, you think, another die, or can we get I don't know.
We can spend 2 to retain the initiative.
Yeah.
And then attack.
Well, we can attack and then retain the... Oh, wait. Do we have to
Well, this was the first. This was the first... This was basically initiating combat.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
the scan was that. All right, I gotcha. So we spend the 2 for the advantage, and then we spend 2 to retain the initiative so we can actually shoot them.
Yes.
And then we can spend 3 more to get 2 more dice for whoever
We can't.
whoever is shooting.
Yep.
It would be
Well,
Hamok.
whoever wants to voice Hamok for this one, somebody else will need to roll that sheet there. But
Raldar? Caligo? You don't have a crew member on the bridge?
Yeah, but I'm operating but I'm still going to do engineering things.
True.
I suppose
I mean,
that. Go ahead.
I mean, he's my backup. He's my secondary character.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're welcome to give it the roll, Sean. This would even be, I hesitate to say it's an activation only because, like, you have.
it doesn't count, and unless he does something else, this wouldn't count as an activation.
Yeah, he's under Tabok's authority still.
Right. So, what am I rolling for this? Control and security?
You are.
Okay, and we got 2 extra dice, so that's 4 dice. My focus for ship tactical systems would apply.
That it would, yes.
Okay, so... And the ship also gets to help. So...
Weapons and security, I think.
Here's Hamok. And then here is the ship. No help.
Okay.
All right. So
Because I already had the ship up.
Hemok with the two extra D20s purchased there, and let me drop the momentum accordingly just for a moment to reflect that we are down to three after that roll.
Right. Sorry, I forgot to get to that.
Quite all right. That does give you 5 successes. Apologies. So you regain the 3 points of momentum. So nothing really changes there. You may fire disruptor cannons now, whoever has the ship sheet open.
I got it open.
Very good.
Do it, do it, do it.
Oh.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of stress to their shields. And that is...
Spend a momentum.
Yeah,
And reroll those 2 zeros.
Hemok's tactical systems focus.
well, focus just expands the critical range, unless you're referring to a talent.
He
has the talent that lets him kill people for free.
Yeah, no,
But-
he's nothing like that. So I guess we have to spend some momentum to get 2 more dice here. Yes.
No. So for
No.
challenge dice, sorry to cut in there. For challenge dice, the momentum spends work different when you are re-rolling on that. In this particular case, you would only need to spend 1 point of momentum to re-roll any zeros in your challenge dice pool.
Would we have to roll? Will we have to do that for the ship as well, or is that covered as well?
No, you don't have to. Yeah, it's just the damage. So.
Just on the damage. Okay.
Yeah, it's not affecting the task roll. So really, what you can do in the ship sheet, see where the challenge dice are.
Yep.
Just
Challenge
set that to
dice.
2, press enter, and then push the roll button.
Yep. There we go. Never mind.
Wow.
It didn't want to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, that inflicts 1 breach on them. So your
Those dice they're totally cocked against a book or something. You should be able to reroll those. Totally.
So your disruptors, they lance out on the and Hemok, he does a pretty good job hitting areas around the upper decks where you suspect their command and control is, creating disruptions to the local shield grid, and they do indeed penetrate through the shields and cause some secondary explosions. The Creel don't take a particular liking to that, so they are going to first take the opportunity to return fire, and Vopri is going to take notice. A compartment has popped up. They are targeting with, it appears, electron laser style weaponry, Captain. It is the same manner of mining style equipment that we faced using the freighter some time back.
Understood.
So let's see. They are going to make an attack. I will.
Evasive maneuvers. I mean, I can say it doesn't come into play.
Yep. Talking's free. Tasks aren't. So. That said, I'm going to spend a point of threat in order to buy 1 additional die, and then give them a roll here. That is bad.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
Yay! I really like that.
Let's see if.
Oh, come on! Just let us kill him.
Whoa! Don't give him any ideas now.
Well, so the cannons are going to lance out, and they will come about 15 degrees to port as they try to launch a barrage. Somebody's targeting system must be misaligned. Instead, what they are going to do, I'm going to spend an additional 2 threat to keep the initiative.
Wait, shouldn't you be down to 15? Just asking, because you spent 1 to get the extra die.
I was at 19 previously, thanks to
But you're only at 18. I'm sorry.
Well, I was down to 18 after I bought the additional die. Then I'm spending 2 to keep the initiative, so that brings me down to 16.
Yes, sir. I wasn't trying to be correcting. I was just trying to ask the question.
No, it's fair. Yeah. While he isn't tapping his determination here, Triburn's definitely... Oh dear. That was...
Excuse me.
Quite alright. Triburn, at the very least, is taking into account that he doesn't quite want to be in disruptor range at the moment, so he's going to give the order to try to engage thrusters and try to move basically a zone away from you, so you'd effectively be at medium range. That would be... Okay. Their crew should roll on this one. That's 1 success. Moving with thrusters, they should only need the single success in order to make it, but they also get an assist from the ship. Okay, that'll be 3 successes on that roll. So for the maneuver task, I'll say that occurs at a difficulty 1 under these circumstances. It will move back to medium range. And I will take 2 points of threat for exceeding the difficulty there. So that'll bring me back up to 18.
Alright, so are torpedoes or disruptors better at this point?
At medium range, you are currently at... well, with medium range, it's still better for disruptors. That would happen at a difficulty 3. Torpedoes would be at a difficulty 4 right now. You're kind of just outside of what's optimal for that. As you prepare to give the next set of orders, Vopri turns and says, Captain, I'm receiving a hail from the station.
On screen, but to the side, so I can keep an eye on the tactical.
I'm sorry, my lord. It is audio only.
Fine, play it.
Unidentified Klingon freighter, or Klingon vessel. Cease hostilities. All
Tell that to the... Sorry, continue.
Vessels in this sector are vessels in this system are presently under truce in preparation for the Mastercal Ketlog.
Then you need to inform the Creel who insulted and threatened me. Otherwise, I'm blowing them out of the sky.
If you have a matter that needs disputing, we can route it with the station commander, and we'll be speaking with the Creel in due course. But if you want to violate present ordinances, then I think you'll find that the station is more than capable of enforcing, backing up our words with an appropriately modulated disruptor.
Not required, but if these Creel come close to me again, I will shoot them. We are standing down. Sort of.
I'm gonna go towards Vopri and have him basically tell him that keep our shields up first until they drop theirs. Make sure ours is the last one to drop.
Yep.
Are we still connected to the ship? I mean, to the station?
I think that Vopri would have cut the line at the correct point.
Okay.
Unless you would like to keep
also,
on.
we will be the last ones to turn off the weapons, but we're going to keep a target lock on them the entire time.
Oh.
I'm going to make my way across to the tactical section, the tactical display.
Yeah, let me put us back on the bridge here. So, you may move your tokens as you desire. Yes.
Yeah, the tactical is behind the captain. Those two stations.
Yep. So from the look of things on your sensors, you can discern that there is an active comm channel now between the station and the Creel ship. The channel remains open for about a minute or so as a conversation plays out. With that, once it terminates, the Creel vessel continues to proceed on thrusters towards the station. They power down weapons and lower shields in the process. That they do appear to be keeping sensors on you.
Okie dokie.
What do I have to do to roll to set torpedo lock on their engines to do the most damage?
If you want to launch torpedoes at them, then this would be a control plus security roll. I will note that as they enter long range, they are now in close proximity to the station as well, however.
Collateral damage.
Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last.
Oh, Jesus.
Is now an appropriate time for Zionol to pop up and try to stop whatever is about to happen?
First, let's decloak Zionol there, who sees a station full of opportunity with a vigorous merchant fleet and heavy activity there. But yeah, Azik, are you set to fire torpedoes?
The target lock is set. In my head, I'm going over the fact, I'm looking at Tabak, and my next decision affects him and his house. And it's one of those honor conflicts. So I need time to think about it. So whatever the scene you want to finish with, that's fine.
Well, I do feel like, as with earlier, it hinges on a decision, which if you feel like Azik is in a general quandary between, I really want these people dead, versus I don't want to create offense to the House of Cord or anything of the sort, then you could always roll for it, and Daring could say that Azik is. You could make it a daring roll, or a daring plus command roll, and decide if Azik rolls a certain threshold high, then he's damning the consequences and killing his enemies. Or you could make it a control plus command roll, and have him decide that a high enough roll there says, no, I have basic impulse control. They shall die on another battlefield, but still by my hands.
As much as I want to embrace my certain focus that you commented on when I created this ASIC, I think I'm going to stand down and plan something else.
Yep. So the hand hovers uncomfortably for at least Zionol's purpose over the button that would fire the torpedo.
As Azik's hand hovers uncomfortably, Zionol's hand hovers quite comfortably over one of his daggers.
Yeah. But I think it's safe to say that as Azik relents, the hand slips away and the torpedo lock ceases.
I turn around. That'd be funny. Accidentally turn around and lean against it like what Riker used to do on the Enterprise and accidentally push
I'm
the
sorry, if those computer panels cannot figure out the difference, if those computer panels can't figure out the difference between you actively pushing the buttons and a butt dial, there's a problem. Klingon ships, however,
That's a feature.
that's a feature. Yeah, that's not a bug.
Yeah, that's all hard buttons there. They're meant to be pressed. The battle is meant to happen as they remove as many impediments to battle as possible. Even
Captain
intention.
Nazik, permission. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Captain Nazik, permission to speak.
Go ahead.
Perhaps it might not be the worst decision to let Dar go to the tribunal court thing. One of the things that you can do is combat. I think that Dar could handle that trial very well.
You're absolutely right. He's pretty good at combat. Vopri, scan their ship.
I do have a sensor record from earlier. Is there a particular detail you want me to obtain information on?
This is pure curiosity at this point. But I would like to know if somebody were to happen to beam into that ship, how we could get around their sensors to make it so that way they don't see our transport. And you'll probably have to get with DuPont about it. He's got some tricks up his sleeve.
I am afraid I don't know the transporter systems well enough to mention that. If I may ask, are we going to try to stop the Creel that alleges that Gordon committed a certain crime by committing that crime again?
No, this is purely curiosity.
Okay.
Azik,
Captain Tabak.
stand down.
From curiosity, knowledge is power. Tactics are just a different form of knowledge.
Azik. Don't make me kill you before the station decides to blow up our ship.
The station is actually hailing us now.
I made a promise to you that we would respect your house, and the fact that ship is not in ruins should prove some of that. As I said, this was purely tactical consideration, nothing more. Do you want to get the phone, or do you want me to?
On speaker.
Just a note, that is our own OverlandGamer running the ready and willing to consider war crimes right there. Definitely check him out on Twitch. I missed our earlier shout-outs, so I will just intersperse them here. I haven't forgotten about you. I haven't forgotten about you either, Caligo, so rest assured. Let's see. So, yeah, audio comes through. The same officer says, "Oh, now that that's here, you have permission to proceed to docking port 6. as a note, since I have you logged as a new arrival, all vessels are under ceasefire for the duration of their time in system, and most especially if you are to become a participant in the tlha'wI. Registration may be arranged in the aboard ship.
What
Or aboard
is
the
this?
station.
What is this Ketlog?
You really haven't been here before, have you?
No.
The Mastercal tlha'wI is a relay race conducted by local spacecraft. Ships from around our region. Some Klingon, other strange aliens of all sorts have arrived for a circuit race that will be conducted within the next day or so.
Ah. I'm not sure how you have docking arrangements, but you probably shouldn't put us anywhere near that Creole vessel.
You'll note docking port 6 is on the other end of the station.
Good choice.
You said this is what kind of event?
It is a race. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have others to manage, and I'm sure there's a better NPC to ask about this whole situation.
As the GM goes all meta on us.
Really? I'm gonna go. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead there, Joe.
I make my way over to the helm.
Just push aside Nogri and start docking the vessel. Yeah. So, the yawn will dock in place with the station, and in just a few moments, on a docking port on the opposite end of the from the Creole vessel, you will begin to assume docking maneuvers alongside other ships, some Klingon, but there are other designs of a different manner that appear to be taking their positions all throughout the that are either coming into the system or that have already docked. These designs, as Vopri would regale you, include at least one design more common to Terran usage, one that appears to be, or it appears that some Suliban vessels are about to dock, or are closing in. There's also Iridian craft that would seem to be in system. There's a whole array of different vessels. There's also quite a few vessels bearing Great House insignias as well. So, let's see. Key question to start off with would be, who would be interested in debarking and going to the station?
I need ingredients.
I have to go. Don't I? I have to deliver our guest? Or do I just let him out the door?
You can just let him out, and that's technically all that Tabak needs to do.
Then that is all Tabak is going to do.
In an odd change of attitude, Azek will volunteer to disembark and explore a little bit.
All right. Who else wants to be part of the team that goes aboard station?
Tabak will tell everybody. Tabak will tell everybody who's going on board the station. Just avoid the Creole. Don't kill anybody and don't catch any bugs.
Due to the events of last time, when I got ambushed by the Creole, I don't think I'll be going.
Okay, so Raldar and his special little boy are going to be staying on board the station.
I will give a list to Lynn, because, she is the least likely to be eyed out by the Creel to go shopping for me.
Very good. Rev.
And of course, Zionel has to go.
Very good, very good.
Kresic, station shmation. Seen one, seen them all. He can just give a shopping list to Zionel.
Very good, very good.
And the money?
I will say that you have an appropriate amount of Darsex that it is unlikely that you could collectively expend an amount that would exceed your allowance, or worse, in any way financially imperil the House of Tabak, or the House of Cord, that is to say. So, if there's anything particularly noticeable, then I may go as far as to ask you for momentum, if it were something of the sort. And I don't think anybody has pitched any specialized items, so it's not, I don't think there's, anything that needs to be bought with the...
So you vetoed my TARDIS, then?
I'm afraid the request for it didn't land in this proper space-time, and I would have.
Okay.
Is Ractogeno specialized?
Oh, Ractogeno is quite common to Mastercal.
Yeah.
I'm buying educational materials.
Yep. I'm momentarily going to stick people in the theater of the mind, just while I make sure sets are arranged. So,
Before we leave the bridge, I make sure to look over at Tabak and say, "Don't kill DuPont while I'm gone, please."
I'll try.
all right. So we have just as
All right, he missed it. He missed the ambiguity in that statement.
No, I caught it. I just didn't say anything because I was taking a drink.
Nice. We have Azek, we have Traven, we have Zionol, and we have Lynn. Let's see. Sean, since Tabak is staying on board, did you want to bring anyone else?
No. Hammock is going to be busy just wrangling the dozen or so schmoes that we have on board to keep them from leaving the ship, because Hammock doesn't trust them to not do stupid stuff, and neither does Tabak.
Quite all right. Ray, I know you may also be a bit engaged or busy there. Is there anyone you would want to bring along, with the immediate note that Dar is not allowed to leave? He has educational things going on. Hearing none, they might be busy, so we'll worry about that later.
What?
Yeah.
You're muted. Ray was muted. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, Ray, you were definitely muted.
The row?
It's a mute in Discord.
Shame.
Okay. Is this better?
Yes,
Yep.
I can hear you again.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna say, damn it, I was definitely gonna try and get Dar off the ship, but you foiled me.
Yeah.
Take control. If you would like to take control, and he can do his own stuff, I'm okay with this.
Take control of Zionel.
Yeah, if you would like to.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is also there are other characters about. There's DuPont, if the transporter chief and augmented or cybernetically enhanced Catman wants to go aboard. There is there's tlha'wI, there's Nongri, Kel'Shazal.
DuPont wants to, but with he doesn't really like being around people because of other people looking for him.
Fair enough.
They just want to get their cuddles in.
Don't we
Sometimes those
all?
cuddles come with scalpels, but
I I do
Sharp cuddles are cuddles.
Yep. I do suppose there is technically, well, I could give you a different character that, I could always give you a different character here, Ray. I'll just, tell you what, we'll let whomever you wind up picking, possibly show up here in a moment. They can catch up with the crew later.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's see. Are you in a position where you can see Discord stuff at the moment?
Yes, I am at the Stevens house.
Very good, very good. Let's see. Let's see here. So, the four of you in the meantime are definitely going on to the station. So your group make your way through the airlock and into the recesses of the station. I'd say that it's a pretty well, the airlock itself and like the initial port area seems very well traveled. The deck plates are a bit more discolored than one would usually expect. It does appear like maintenance is a very slight issue there. Honestly, it appears like there's some blocked off segments of the station, like right from the get-go. The sort that you would expect for areas that are not properly finished or built out. And once you leave the immediate debarkation area, it seems like it carries through. But nonetheless, parts of the station that are properly attended to do seem to... it nonetheless appears to be a bustling area. Once you make it into like sort of the wider parts, you enter what is effectively the main marketplace level. There are a lot of areas that appear to be like blocked off with like heavy doors that are that seal off some areas. A few of them are opened up. They appear to be what you would guess like there'd be alcoves where you would expect stations or maybe even just other supplemental equipment would be. But they have been repurposed into stalls and like little shops throughout the station. In the main sort of thoroughfare in this area, there are a number of like stands such that you would expect to see on you would have expected to see on like one of the planetary markets, much like Zethlor back when you were there. But there are a number of Klingons, mostly tlha'wI, that appear to be selling their wares. You see there are multitudes of different items, everything from like parts and equipment, different varieties of food, waves of exotic smells coming off from that. There is Traven. You would immediately recognize the wafting smell of freshly brewed Ractigino.
Gone.
Yep, Traven just over in this area. There's also a fair number of non-humans out among the crowd. Beyond those depicted there, there are some Creel, though they are not like in your path or anywhere particularly close by. There are some groups of Suliban. You make out what appear to actually be some Terrans, and a few Traven, a few species Traven and Lin that you would actually expect to see more in the Federation, but nobody in a particularly formal stance. We'll say on the goods end, there are also definitely weapons available. So, I guess I should let's go in this order. Traven, you're probably taking the initiative here to look for some stuff. What would you say you are looking for first?
Well, I know that there's been multiple people on the crew who want Ractagino, and if I can get a good supply of it and start brewing it, that'll help the crew tremendously. So I'm going there first.
Fair enough, fair enough. So you find yourself standing in quite a line. You're behind a rather impatient man with a somewhat, I'd say, kind of mottled face, or like very, what is it here? Like with very heavy folds of skin coming down their face, very large earlobes, kind of a slightly burnt pink hue to their skin, like a reddish gray sort of affair. Yeah, he's just periodically checking a chronometer and looking through, but the line is moving fast enough, so it doesn't seem like it's not too long before you start moving up the line. Let's see, just for a sense of things, that'd be sorry. Let's see here. So, making your way up the line, the smell of unique spices here is it is a much stronger smelling blend than anything that you had sampled on Zethlor. I think it was Zethlor where you originally found this, unless I'm. Oh wait, no. I think that you'd actually picked this up on Mektor.
Yes, when it was where Woe went, disappeared.
Oh no, that was Zethlor then. All right. Let's see. So, amidst the whole situation here, the vendor is like calling out, "Ah yes, freshly brewed, only the finest leaves and spices on with this, and only the finest imported beans. They take to the soil well. You've not had true Rectagino until you've drank the truly Klingon dish here." And as the gentleman ahead of you takes drops some Darsex and quickly takes a glass, heading back towards one of the stalls. It's like, you're a bit of a you are a little bit of a strange one, almost like some of the Terran ilk. Surely you would have an appreciation for a fine beverage like this.
I actually do. I've had it on another planet previously, but the smell is vastly stronger here.
Oh, if you've had it on another planet, then you haven't had true Rectagino. Not if it was something brewed there, or they had to sit and import. You'll always get the freshest varieties here on Mestakal.
I would love a cup, and then if you wouldn't mind, I would love to know where you get your beans. I travel on a ship, and this is something that would really help the crew's morale.
Having a warm mug ready, with a gesture clearly to where to dispense your Darsec, be it a hard currency system or something electronic. I would imagine that the Klingons here generally take cash, basically. He says, I could arrange. Well, it'd be difficult to give too much away from my suppliers, but if it were made worthwhile, I might have some way to I might have a way to grant you the knowledge needed to provide your crew a most glorious beverage.
Is there anything I could do for you?
Said you come in on a ship, did you?
Yes.
Would this be one of the trade ships, or are you here for the catalog?
Trade ship, maybe catalog? I don't know just yet. All I know is that we're here on the station, delivering cargo.
Well, it'd have to be a fast ship with a capable crew if you mean to compete in the catalog.
I'd say our ship's pretty grand, and our pilot is one of the best.
Well, you'll undoubtedly want to speak with the station commander over in the bar. He's been taking entrance with the appropriate fee, which I suppose if you're trading, then, well, that is helpful. Do you frequent a particular route or any particularly wealthy segment of space?
I would say we go in and out. We mostly just travel, look for jobs, anything that can earn us money.
He eyes you with a little bit of what you think is skepticism. The Klingon, a koha, much like Tabak, is fairly easy to read in some senses, or he's telegraphing a lot of things, and he's looking a little less impressed with that. Don't know that I could part with such supplies so easily. Perhaps I could sell you some of my store for a proper price.
Oh, did I mention we fought in a war and survived? Yeah, we did that too.
Oh.
So we can handle ourselves if it's an issue of security.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you've earned honor and glory in quite remarkable ways. The great warrior tradesman. Huh. For an appropriate fee, I might be able to relay something to you here. Traven, I'm going to have you roll a presence plus command roll to try and persuade him. I'm going to give you a flat difficulty of 3 here, because he is not particularly sold on you.
Alright, I'll apply my conversation focus.
Yeah, that'd work.
Give me 1 second. I'm just reading through my talents real quick, just in case.
Of course.
Okay, I'm gonna use a determination.
Okay, tapping a point of determination. That would be... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Which
I'm gonna invoke the helping hands value. Because I'm helping my crew get coffee.
That feels weak. But I...
You can say no.
I don't like it, I'm sorry.
Give him.
Alright, I don't think I have a value for this, because I don't think for honor and glory works either. Let's just roll it and see what happens.
Alright. That is one success.
I knew it.
Yeah, the price point that he gives you is quite exorbitant. It's something that could be afforded, but I'd say that honestly it's going to cost you a couple points of momentum to get you these beans. This man's not particularly convinced or impressed, and I'd say he's playing hardball.
Yeah, I don't think this is appropriate. Your brew's great, I'll give you that, but I'm not going to sacrifice an arm and a leg for beans.
Well, you're certainly not going to find a better mix anywhere on the planet or on any other or anywhere else on the station.
I threw momentum down for you.
Much appreciated.
Oh wow.
The hand of Tabak has felt. But if Traven's not willing to spend it, then you can pick it back up, or you can draw new stuff and get rid of whatever tokens are out.
Are his crates out in the open by chance?
He has some crate, he does have some open crates nearby. They are, behind the bit of the stall, so any reach would not be an easy one.
Not to reach. Could I use those 2 points to gain a advantage and have those crates have an information on his supplier?
I think we could do that. So.
Because I want to make my own mix. I just need those beans.
So that would the label on that would be. Let's see. All right, the label on that would mention as near as you can read that. That'd be a Borveg, or the Borveg agricultural compound.
Sorry, writing it down.
Yep, I put it in the Discord for you.
Thank you. I give him a nod. I say, no, thank you. I think I can find what I need elsewhere. And I'm going to look for an official to try and get directions to see if they're still on the station or if there's a representative for that company on the station.
Yep. So moving along, you pass by a few stalls. You see there's Uridians. You pass by an area with Uridians about. This actually will kind of pivot into the next. Well, let's move around to some of the other players here. And going into the. Actually, before we get to you there, Azek, let's touch our supporting characters. Let's see. Lynn, how about we take you first?
All right.
Yeah. You were going through, you were given Raldar's shopping list, was that right?
Yes.
No, right. Then let's see where that takes you. What sort of things would Raldar have wanted?
See, the start of the list is just, ordinary, engineering supplies. Self-sealing symbols and the like. Replacement cement mixer. And then the rest is educational materials. Various books and whatnot.
Fair enough. Let's see where this takes you here. So the initial, let's see. Sorry, just getting this pulled up here. The initial, sorry, I'm getting things all mixed up right now. Okay. Sorry, I've just realized that some of my tokens are just a little bit mixed up at the moment, and that is a GM problem. So I'd say that one of the okay, it's actually there appear to be two areas with major elements of salvage material. One of them is a Suliban who is standing over different sorts of stranger engineering parts. There's also a let's see. Should be an Enolian about. And I realize their token isn't visible, so let's fix that. Shrink them down to size. The infinite Enolian stands up for a moment, but then you realize that's just a hologram.
Advertising.
Yes, yes. The Enolians are used to doing things with a little bit of flair. Yeah, so let's see. I'd say the Suliban person looks like they have a bit more in the way of spare parts and salvage, like components that might be of some use. The Enolian has a few more complete devices, specialized materials, maybe a few other interesting shipboard offerings. So, do you want to try and engage with anyone in particular, or would you just be content to say that Lynn is going to dally about and try to pick up anything that seems useful?
She's. It's normally more of the dally about, unless some specific comes up that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. That being the case, Lynn will probably just get the. She'll probably just get word of. She'll probably just get the. She'll get a few wares being hawked her way. When the Lynn, as you are going about and picking up bits of the material that you're looking for, the Enolian gets up close to you and says, Terran's so far from their home system. It can be a dangerous place. Perhaps I could interest you and your crew in the finest crate of phasers available.
Phasers?
Oh, yes. We always keep a nice, steady set of imports here. Perhaps something that may be of use to you.
I don't think I could convince them to let go of their disruptors. They're rather fond of them.
But I'm sure that they will find you quite persuasive if you bring on one of these hand units here. He opens a crate and pulls out something that greatly resembles a... let's see. These are all the Discovery to original series era. Actually, Lynn, give me an insight plus security roll, please. And better yet,
Insight.
This is an activation for her.
Oh, yippee!
Yippee!
Yeah, I think she's only had the one activation at this point, so you could give her a.
This would be her third activation.
Oh, third activation. I presume you've all... Well, let's see. One of those, I know we went for the particular talent. Did you give her a point in an attribute or a discipline first? Or second?
No, I gave her the talent again.
Well, you can do a point in a attribute or discipline as well. And then you can... or alternatively, you can give her a focus, value, or 2 more talents. Well, 1 more each, but still.
I think I'll end up giving her another talent to round out the plan I had.
Understood. All right. Then I'm going to call this insight and security roll. I'm going to say it's a difficulty 1 roll for you.
All right. Focus for handheld weapons.
You would definitely recognize it.
All right.
Roll me 2 dice there, if you please, or just roll 1 more d20 if you want to keep that. All right. Well, that's that'll still do. That works. One success. As you handle it, you realize it's a pretty familiar one. And then, looking closer, observing serial numbers, and the very slight hint of where it's some carbon scoring, you're pretty sure, for one thing, this is not an import. It is much more likely salvage. Because from this grip and from the block number, you could tell that this is probably an Atelskis 2 block phaser. Exactly the sort common to standard issue on Federation ships, or more specifically Starfleet ships, during the 4 Years' War.
Very familiar with said weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, the Enolian looks at us. Yes, I have the finest suppliers in the whole quadrant. If your people come aboard, then, or if your people take these aboard and take these out, then they're going to be very well equipped variable settings, including the more, if one might say, more elegant or efficient stun versus kill setting modulation. You could do quite a bit with that, and
Maybe. Or, though, do you mind telling me the name of your supplier? Maybe not his company or whatever. I'm just curious of how legitimate he is.
I assure you, these goods are perfectly legitimate here. I export from a company deep inside the over in the Baker's Dozen, in the Triangle region. Some Federation types might be a little hesitant about seeing such quality goods exported, but the right people can find the right level of phasers. Get it straight from a manufacturer there.
Yes, of course he did. Though you probably should have filed off the serial numbers if you were going to sell me salvage.
He kind of he blinks a couple times for a moment, not quite catching up to it. Is there anything in particular you'd like to do here? I should be clear, this man has very likely, he may not have done it directly, but somebody in his supply chain may have basically done the equivalent of robbing some graves. Or at least going among salvage ships.
This is more like looking at the age, telling by the serial number, manufacturing. Well, I'm very familiar with this type of weapon. I used to have one of my own. This is old. As old as the 4 Year War, you know.
He starts to the wide smiley head starts to diminish a bit, and his brow furrows a little bit.
If your supplier's been charging you full price for these, he's scamming you.
I see. Clearly, a discerning customer such as yourself, if they were so possessed, perhaps more of a discount is in order. Or, he says, gesturing to take back the phaser, perhaps your wares are indeed well suited to that.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not out to reduce a businessman out here. You're all right. I'm not gonna hurt you, but maybe one just in case won't hurt. Maybe I'll convince the commander to acquire a few more.
Are you keeping the phaser then?
Yes. Yeah.
The
She
second.
is,
Okay.
it is an uncomfortable smile she is giving him.
I guess the follow-up question here is: do you bother to pay for it?
She tosses him a bit. Probably not a great amount.
Yep. I'll accept that, and I will say that you make him profoundly uncomfortable. If you'd like to roll to make him profoundly uncomfortable, then I could give you with that role play, I could give you a presence plus security roll.
I would be happy to roll to make him uncomfortable.
Yeah. Let's call this a difficulty. Call it a difficulty 1 in this instance.
All right.
I've kind of called him out on this.
All right.
But Lynn's not really trying that hard.
Nah.
Yeah. Nonetheless, excellent roleplay, and I definitely recommend you guys check out tlha'wI on our other channels, as they also stream. See, I did say I was going to get you. It only took me almost 2.5 hours. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, let's
Now,
go
where
on.
can I get some pins and paper?
Yep. Going on down the list, Zional. What in particular are you looking for?
So, a couple of things. First off, he is doing his best not to let Azek out of his sight.
Mm-hmm.
He has severe reservations about danger that he could pose. People being replaced by somebody else who looks almost just like them is pretty common where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
So he has reason to have issue with that. But otherwise, he is looking for just general supplies. I'd imagine this is probably the list of spare parts that Raldar would have given him, as far as, we need some new induction coils or that sort of stuff. And also looking for a few items for the good doctor.
Indeed.
Medical supplies.
Yeah. I would say on that
Parts.
Yes. More replacement parts and the like.
He is looking for biomimetic gel. He's not quite sure what that is, but he does have that on his list of things that Kresik has asked for.
Yeah. I think that might be a bit advanced outside of the good doctor's most specialized laboratories.
Exactly.
Yes.
He's been looking for it. For a while. Hasn't found anybody who has it. Almost as if that's something that would only be available in like a proper medical facility.
Yes. So, with all of that, the spare parts, the replacements are going to be easier to recoup. The medical goods a little less so, beyond what is more common stock. I'd say from your assessment, Zional, the station, it does appear to it is a remarkable port in the diverse array of goods that it contains, and the just the sheer sort of spread. In a lot of ways, this place has a few more niches, or it expands out a little more than what you would have expected to see back on Zethlor. But this port is a bit less seedy, or you think it would be more difficult to acquire certain types of illicit goods, let's say.
Mm-hmm. This place is too much on the up and up for the good stuff.
Yes, Master Cal seems to definitely be a relatively booming port. And you are beset by the wafting smells of numerous foods, of sense, you're pretty sure that you're picking up an Arcturian musk oil, or one of the more sort of premium perfumes that was kept around on Zetlor. But this about as offensive as it would be, as it would have been elsewhere.
Offensive, but valuable and vanity.
Yes. Most unfortunately, there are no signs of any merchants with any silk of comparable quality to what you would be wanting to replace fabric-wise.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. You do,
Oh yeah, go ahead, please.
You do, however, notice that there appear to be a couple of Euridians about. And your general encounters with everyone in the diaspora would suggest that they tend to be very good brokers when it comes to information.
Exactly. That was the next thing I was going to be looking for.
Yeah. So, one of them, kind of between a couple stalls and just looking over a data pad leaned up against the pillar, is definitely not giving you any sort of, or not paying you any sort of mind as you're walking about and acquiring supplies. Would you want to make a casual approach?
Of course. Excuse me, I am relatively new to this station. I was told there were Tholian silk merchants here. Was I given false information?
Tholian silks. Not a lot of common call for them. And even if there were, those are very difficult to procure.
That they are. It is... Well, my last cargo was, shall we say, removed from commission by certain overzealous members of various military organizations.
Most unpleasant. Well, thankfully, it is the sort of thing one can find with the appropriate tips.
Oh, I'm certain it is, but as I said, I am new to this station. I don't know where to be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, it depends on. Well, our options are somewhat limited, but well, he says, glancing over his pad. Perhaps there is something to tell based on what you know. Let me ask, do you happen to know of the Garidian?
Does he happen to know of the Garidian?
Give me I'm gonna call this, insight plus command, and I'm going to set the difficulty on this. For Zional, I would bring it down to 3. It would
I was gonna say, would my intelligence agent trait reduce the difficulty?
That does come into play here. There have not been many tasks. Rather, there have been story opportunities that related to it, but we never quite got to. They were always optional things, and nobody hooked onto a particular thread. So, I'll say that's where we can have it right now.
None of my focuses would apply, right? Negotiation, assassination.
I don't think so in this case.
Profitable seduction.
That's almost tempting. I don't think we're quite there.
Wow.
Okay. And you said the difficulty is 3?
Yes.
Could I get a point of momentum, dear friends?
Take it, my lord.
Beautiful.
Okay. And that is 3 successes on the board. Zionel, you have actually heard some rumblings about the Garidian. Mostly back in your time on Zethlor. The Garidian was someone that was talked about and might have occasionally had business there. However, he's actually never anyone that you have been able to meet. At this juncture, the best you understand is that he is somebody who could be a mover and shaker in some sort of quasi-underground level. Like, very comfortable approaching the halls of power of the Orions, but could, in equal measure, with the right houses, might be able to unofficially sort of grease the wheels with big power players. But there's, even for your skill level, there is so little that you know about this particular figure beyond the name. You know nothing of species, of like anything else that would readily identify them. You don't have a name beyond the title.
Words flow like gently bubbling streams across my ears. Garidian,
Oh, so you're not that...
I've had reason to cross that name along my books.
Well, if there's any supplier best capable of finding more premium goods, you might consider trying to find them. Otherwise, I suppose there might be the occasional ship that passes through the triangle that might be able to oblige you, but that would be information that is quite costly, and though one wouldn't want to disrupt those lines without exceptionally good reason or for exceptionally good pay.
Of course, I understand. I would not wish to jeopardize any profitable businesses occurring.
Of course, it depends on what's most profitable, and in those cases, knowledge can be as valuable as any amount of Darsec, or worth its weight in Latinum, even. Clear.
And what coins of knowledge weigh the heaviest upon the minds of the good friends of this station?
He kind of looks at... he glances roughly in your direction, like more kind of at your feet instead of looking you directly in the eye. Depends on what you know. And I'd say that at this point, Zionel, you're getting a few taps on, or rather, you're getting a few low-grade beeps on your comm device, basically, as near as you can tell, pings. So if there's anything from your time on board the campaign you think might be a pertinent bit of information or something that could have been accessed in the ship's logs that you want to try and barter with, then this would be a time to try and use it. The obvious caveat is that Zionol would have to have had some way to access it or be around. And there's a good chance that if it's a detail that involves another player, there's a very good possibility that said player might have veto over that, I would say.
I have heard, I guess that's not quite accurate, had encounters with many dangerous, shall we say, entities during my trading career. I may even know the location of, well, my former employer was working with that Kazin pirate queen.
There's just a momentary, dead pause on that. Yeah, that could be of a fair value. And you get a series of pings, basically, detailing a numeral, that on your wrist communicator, such that there's a small screen, let us say, basically instructing you to memorize a set of numbers that would resemble a communications frequency, and telling you relay there for further information.
I'm sure it could be very interesting, but I wouldn't want to bore you with anything now that could be taken out of context. Perhaps I shall continue to browse the wares here, see if there's anything that catches my fancy. Thank you.
Well, at your own time, friend. When you are ready, let the words flow like water, as you say, and perhaps a friendly stream shall catch you in return. The Iridian is going to saunter off of the station, or rather saunter off of the main deck, and leave you be, Zionol.
As he begins furiously working through his mind how he's going to BS a location of a non-existent idea based off of his first interactions with Woe, with his previous employer.
Yep.
The wheels are turning.
Yep. While Zionol is busy considering that, Joe, I believe that you had interest in a contest for Azek.
Indeed, I am interested in finding more about this this contest or race that they've got going on.
Yep. You've seen signs alluding to the Mastercal Kitlog that should be apparently there is a simple matter of situating your registration or your entry into this, and it involves heading off to the bar.
Well, then looks like I'm heading to the bar.
Yep. So let me just make sure Azek is there. And so you enter in the bar. Oh, there's another Enolian. Man, that guy's twin really gets around. It's a good thing Lynn didn't find him, otherwise she'd know exactly who got the phasers. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you see that there are a fair number of people about. There is at least, let's see. Sorry, shrink that down. There's one person that appears to be an Imperial wearer who is presently face down. There is also there's another Klingon in some degree of finery, enjoying a number of drinks. And then we'll say there's at least one more just regular alien here who I'm going to shrink down. There might be a fourth person in a moment. We'll see about that. But yeah, Ezek, you enter the bar area. The music is it's a low, gentle sort of affair. I'm going to say that it's not familiar Klingon music. It's something more. I'd say it's something vaguely electronic sounding. I'm honestly kind of leaning in towards ambience from the the bar that McCoy went to during the search for Spock.
Sure.
Yeah. So something kind of very 80s feeling.
Is there any are there any signs for this race registration?
You've just been told to report to the station commander. The only one who looks like they are in Imperial... Well, the proper Imperial military wear is in this... sitting here, appearing slumped down in front of his drink. There is another... There are only the two Klingons that are properly there, unless the tlha'wI who runs the bar, it seems, is the station commander. That seems unlikely to you.
I'll head over to the one directly in front of the barkeep. Yep, right there. And he looks like he's passed out.
He does look that way, yes.
In a very friendly gesture with my regular arm, not my cybernetic arm, the regular arm. I'm gonna, you know how when like friends meet each other at the bar, they walk up to each other, grab, pat them on the back. Hey, bud, how you doing? Your drink's a little empty there. Barkeep, another round for him, and grab me whatever he's drinking.
And don't forget me, Ezek. The Klingons from immediately by the seat next to you says.
Do I know the other one?
The Klingon who does seem to be a few mugs in. Oh, come now. After you how could you not remember me after that last trip we took? Right from the frontiers of the Empire to another frontier. I'm honestly surprised Bemots came to a place like Sithwarp. He downs a fair bit. Don't tell me you don't remember your good old friend Durkir.
Vaguely. What brings you to these parts?
Well, in part, it is the only enjoyment my family will allow me to have. They like to keep their sons of the house under closer watch, apparently, during more trying times such as these. And it is, it's about the only way I can have some fun. An opportunity to liberally imbibe.
Does he remember? He remembers one arm Azek, right?
He might. Durkir spent a good bit of time on the ship in a blood wine induced haze.
All right. I'm gonna actively try to keep my cybernetic arm away from him. Not trying to obviously hide it, but just position my body so it doesn't look he can't really see it, so he doesn't cause any problems there. But Do you know anything about this race we heard about coming in?
Oh, yes, the Ketlog. Yes, it is. It is supposed to be quite the entertaining race, though. We'll be monitoring most of it from. We'll be. I mean, most of it will be monitored from this station with updates along the way. Really, the houses are here mostly to advertise for their. More to view and keep an eye on keep an eye on bets that have been placed. I have wagered a fair I am preparing to wager a fair number of Darsecs.
Looks like life has been good to you since you ran with us.
Oh, it's treated me well enough, but then no son of the House of Durash lives in privation. Just sometimes boredom, he says, widening his eyes and taking another swig of blood wine.
This is well under or before the most renowned twins of Duras are born, isn't it?
Yes, but don't get me wrong, the House of Durash is one of the most famous in the Empire. They are, among the 24 great houses, they are pretty well up there. But their reputation is one of, like a very old, honorable, and strong house.
Does one have to procure a ship to enter into these races, or how does that?
As you say that, you feel a, let's see, well, no, I'll delay that slightly. Dirk here will just say, as I understood it, all the captains simply reported to the station commander, and he's, when he's cognizant to do so, he quickly gets people signed up, takes a generous entry fee, but yes, he'll get you in the race. Are you plotting on bringing that old rust bucket into this, into the Ketlog?
Well, that was going to be my next question. Are these ships that are in this, are they fighter class? Are they standard warp vessels, or
All
like the Yawn was, or
Well, the Yarn might fit among the bunch. Generally scale 2 ships, as I understand it. Let's see, he thinks over the situation. Believe that it was all the vessels had to be scale 2 vessels and were also bound to not attack other vessels. They were, competitor vessels, that is to say. There are 3 parts of the circuit. One, I think, that proceeds into Infinite Orion there. Sorry, to move that off for a moment. Let's see, there's one that takes place in, there's navigation, I think, through an asteroid belt. There's a subspace corridor and a nebula, and then finally a neutron star that, it's a whole sequence of events. Honestly, I didn't commit that part to memory. I was here for the drinking and for the gambling.
of course you were.
As this is going, another figure has slid up to the bar at this point. And, well, let's see. Before we get to that, the station commander is going to rise and press up his head, or like he's going to rise from this. The man appears to be a tlha'wI, the augmented, or rather the Klingon who received the particular gene therapy to rectify the previous. The impacts of the Kuvat virus, basically. Very rare to see them in Imperial service, and it looks like this man had just enough, or was given just enough, basically, to allow him to have the, allow him to receive the, basically the package of, like, he could get hair follicles for a beard and eyebrows, but he has no other hair. That you can see on his head. His uniform tinged with gold. And, let's see. He's simply going to slide a pad over to you with registration details and something that basically say, input ship name, include, or like, press down here to deposit Darsex.
Asik doesn't think twice about it. He signs us up for it.
Yep. Back on the Yan, just notification on Tabok's terminal of suspicious activity has been logged on your account.
And Tabok suddenly has a headache. Why does my head hurt? Why?
Yep.
I sense a strange disturbance in the force.
Yep. As this is going on, Davis, you hear the unmistakable sound of somebody clicking that pad and doing so without any hesitation whatsoever. Somebody's got a fair bit of latinum in their pocket, apparently.
Ooh, hang on, I need to message you something real quick.
Okay. As that goes, Dirk here at least will say, well, I guess I could always put some Darsex on you. Be at least good for a laugh. Who knows? Maybe if you lose, I can scrounge up a barrel of blood wine. Tell me, is your old captain? Is he still? Well, I presume he's on the station too.
The captain of the Yan is standing right in front of you.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you slew that Tabok in most honorable combat, or whatever. It says, just waving a hand.
If fatherhood is honorable combat, then yes.
I do.
He decided to take more parental and honor closer to hope. So he graciously relinquished command over to myself, and yeah. Well, you don't hold a grudge against him or anything, do you?
He's not. He wasn't so offensive or memorable for me to be that angry. And the swill he carried wasn't that bad either. Hopefully, you, as a new captain of this ship, you've had a better chance to gain. Well, you keep better food stores and higher quality. What am I saying?
Traven's the best. Traven's the best cook in the Klingon fleet and the the fleet, as far as I've heard.
I don't. Can't say I remember that one. Traven might have been in a stasis pod for the whole time Dirkir was on board, so he would genuinely have no clue about him. But yes, amidst all of this, Dirkir is just going to say, well, at any rate, we must celebrate your ascension to the captaincy. Hopla!
Kapla. And does that pad show that I signed? Does it show the race route and stuff, or
It will relay information to your ship here. And
got it?
let's see. Sorry, I'm just double checking a rule here.
As the data is going to the ship, Tavok is reading this and pushing the button to call Azek.
The phone is set to do not disturb.
I assumed as much.
Let's see.
Checks the location of the comm signal, and it's at the bar. Yep, that fits.
Yeah, better yet, Tabak, the entry fee is non-refundable.
I'm gonna take his arm.
Let's see. So, yep.
Witnessing this, Davis sides up to Azek, says, "You're awfully confident."
I have to be.
And a recent captain, no doubt.
Victory ends and begins oftentimes in the mindset. If your mindset isn't in the moment, in your element, then whether you actually succeed or fail, you've already failed. You have a better shot of winning and seeking out that honorable victory if you've got the right mindset for it.
I'm sure you have a very good mindset. My name's Davis, and he reaches forward a hand to shake with Azek.
I extend my hand. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure's all mine. Keep talking about this mindset. Do I need to roll to see if that will have any effect?
So technically it's something I can more flavor things. I'm going to actually relay the relevant talent for this.
Okay.
But it's mostly a bonus on certain tasks, basically. Here, let me bolt that out. So let's see. As of right now, I'd say that this Davis, he seems like a very nice guy, and there's something about him that just sends your head swimming very slightly. The Dirk here, likewise, is actually in a bit closer, and it's like, yes, tell them all about the victorious mindset. I could say I have a few words to say about that myself, as a member of a very great house.
No, really? Do you own a ship?
My family owns many ships.
Do you own one now? Just you, not your family.
Well, I mean, I do commend it, but the Monsi, that Patak would have things to say about me taking it off right now. He wistfully looks into his bloodline. One day I shall be rid of him.
He turns back to Azek. So are you going to race?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So you have a pretty capable vessel then.
It'll do.
A little late
Why don't
on.
you show it to me?
Maybe some other time. I'm gonna get up to walk out.
Hmm. GM, what can I do to make him show me the ship?
Well, you could be a bit more insistent and try to roll a persuasion task, which, as it could definitely contest.
Okay. Let me think. Oh, give me a minute.
Yeah, I will say, just because I think Azek is treating you as a strange person at the moment, I don't think your intentions are necessarily hostile. But if it's to the player's mutual comfort, you can draw from my threat pool instead of the momentum pool, if you want to spend anything. If you do that,
The
anything
way
you earn goes back to threat. However,
the way Azek's mind is going right now, he's more, he's kind of more getting focused on the because his trait, the gambler, is kind of taking hold, and he wants to make sure that he just put a lot of money down on this race, and he's trying to um, get into that more than socialize.
Oh. Uh, okay. I'm not gonna roll or give threat, but I am gonna say, oh, yeah, you seem pretty confident. I'm sure you've seen the competition. Well, I suppose yours is pretty good. I imagine mine's better. And with that, he turns around and gets a drink.
What's your ship?
Well, I don't have time to show it to you. Unless, of course, you have time to show me yours.
Maybe after the race, and then
Sounds like a plan.
I'll extend my hand and good luck to you.
Good luck to you. I'll see you out in the field.
and
Does this guy have any recognizable like faction symbols or
I would
uh, that kind of thing?
I wouldn't say there's any noticeable emblem on this, what appears to be an Orion. Nothing that seems immediately noticeable. I'd say just a casual passive look doesn't quite discern anything special. Maybe something throws you off a little bit at the encounter. One thing's for sure, is difficult to it is difficult to take his eyes off, or there's something just magnetic about him that like really draws you in, and like under the right circumstances could have kept you talking for a while longer. Indeed, I think Drakir is looking to engage him in a little bit more conversation.
I'm gonna go over and shake Drakir's hand and kind of pull him in close and whisper to him um, whatever the equivalent of like 50 credits is, like $50. Um, find out which ship they're on and relay it to me on the on, please.
Yeah. He pulls you in close as well. Oh, oh, thick-headed Toba. You think I need the money? This is, if I didn't know you better, he says, a hand like pointing in your face, I'd think you were trying to insult my honor. The smell of blood wine is now very rich in his, like very thick in his breath. He seems otherwise intoxicated in some other manner as well. You get out of my sight, and yeah, he'll just break off and slump kind of towards the bar and towards Davis as well.
Then I'll toss the credit chip or whatever it is to the bartender and say, "These two, another round on me," and then I'll take off for the exit.
Yep. And as you guys head off, as Ezek heads off from the bar, this, I think, will take us to the end of the session. So, for those who are joining us here in the archive, I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you ever want to come by, we will be running more of these streams live Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we hope you enjoy. If you ever want to join, links are in the description of the video, both for the channel and for our other streaming players' channels. Until then, chapla, and have a good rest of your day.